In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, I'd like to show you how you can use an informational graphic that's in the form of a circle and disclose the content by using a clock wipe transition. I saw this on a commercial on TV and thought, how can we do this in PowerDirector? So I'd like to have you look at the following example, and we'll show you how to do that and some other things in the course of this tutorial. First thing we're going to do is take our video and drag it down and put it on track number 1. The next thing I want to do is work on my graphic. So I'll take the graphic which I created in PhotoDirector, and we'll have a tutorial on our channel on PhotoDirector on how to create this. And I'm going to change the duration of it to match the duration of my video clip. Now I need to do some editing on it. I'm going to highlight it and click on the Edit button above the timeline. And then I want to move to Advanced, and I'll show you why I'm going there. When I'm in the Advanced screen, I get to see something on the Preview screen I normally wouldn't. That is the TV safe zone. I don't talk a lot about that, but let me show you why it's important. I'm going to click on the lower right, and then we have this box. When I click on this, I have two options. I can turn on or off grid lines. I can also turn on or off what's called the TV safe zone. And on the advanced screen, I get to see it. It's these dots here. It's basically the area where you want to keep images and stuff within this area. So when I shrink this and move it, I want to make sure it stays pretty much in that zone. So I want it large, and I don't know if I want it all the way to the right, or not necessarily, but I'll move it in a bit. But it's going to go up against that line, and it will snap to that TV safe zone area. I think that's about as big as I want that. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to use this clock wipe. Unfortunately, in the new version of PowerDirector, these aren't alphabetized. So you have to look through them to see if you can find the one that you want, if you know it's there. This one's called Wipe Clock. So I'm going to click on that, and it will apply it. We'll refresh the screen, and we see how fast it works. It's too fast. I want it slower. How do you slow it down? You simply change the duration. I'm going to try something around 3 seconds for duration. So the easiest way to do that is click on the time code above. Oh, I have to stop it here. Okay. Click on the time code on the second digit, which is my seconds, and type in the number 3 and press enter. Now what I want to also do is right click and click on Add Timeline Marker. I can name it if I want or give it a color. I don't need to do that, so I'll just leave it there. I'm going to use a timeline marker to time something else on this 3-second mark. And if I do it here, I'll see it on another screen. So I'm going to take the duration and move it and make it pretty much right on top of that 3 seconds. So if I play this again in this screen and I see it wipe, that's just about the speed I want. Okay, that's better. So we'll do OK there. Now there's something else that I could do even to the graphic if I wanted to. And if I click back on it again, I just want to show you another feature you can use. If I go back to the left screen on this one and go to the Properties tab, if I think the border here should be different, I can't remove it, but I can add to it. I'm going to click on the word border, and now you notice I made another border. It was white, same color, so I could say, you know what, in the original graphic it wasn't big enough, so I could make it wider or narrower if I want. Or the other thing I could do is I could add a shadow. And so here I've added a shadow, and I can control the size of the shadow either with a keyboard. Press enter here, and it's slightly smaller. So if I wanted a shadow on it or some other things, I can do some extra things with that if I want to, beyond what I created or imported in my graphics. So you do have a little bit of control over the graphic here. I'll keep the shadow off for now. I wanted you to know about that. So I'll click on OK when we're done. So now I have my graphic. I need a couple of other things. So we're going to go back into our media room. I have the company name here. I'll take and drag that down, and put that in any track I want. And we'll increase the duration to match everything else. And again, it's too big. I need to be inside the TV safe zone. So I click on Edit and Advanced, or I can press the F2 function key to get there faster. And we're going to make sure that when we resize and reposition this title, it's within that TV safe zone. So let's take it here and lock it up here. That looks pretty good. I don't want it too big or too small. And I can also add a transition if I want. If I want, say, just to fade in or any of the others, I can click on these and modify it. I won't in this case. We'll click on OK. So I am building my project. I've got this and I have my clock. I also need another title on when the sale is over. So I need to go to my title room. And when I'm in my title room, I have already created a title. And it starts with a word now. So I'm going to type in now in the search box, press enter, and here's the title I already created. I'll take and put it on another video track. And again, we'll increase the duration. Now when we play this, the title already had animation built in. Let's see if I like it or if I want to change it. Let's play it as it starts. Okay, it comes in, and what I'd like to have it do is I'd like to have it come in and be done at exactly the time the circle here is finished. And that's at this 3-second mark. That's why I created the timeline marker. So I'm going to click on my title, and I'm going to edit it. I'm going to go to Advanced Editing on the title that I brought in, that I already had maybe for another project, and I want to reuse. And here is my timeline marker at 3 seconds. So I'm going to take the duration of this and we'll set it to the same. So now they will match time. I'm simply using the slide up in terms of my animation. And now it will slide up and they should match on the time. So if I play the first few seconds of this again, we're going to see they stop just at the same time. Again, we could do some more editing on it if we want to modify it, but that gets our title in. Next thing I want to do is I want to add some background music. So I go back to my media room, and here I have a clip that I think will work. I click here, and you notice I widened the timeline so I can see where the music starts. I don't want dead air to start, so instead of doing any fancy audio editing, I'll just move the playhead, the time indicator, to the very beginning, as close as I can get. And then I'll click on that, use Control-T to split, and we'll go press the delete key, and we will remove and fill gap. And then what I want to do is go to the end, press the end key on the keyboard, and do Control-T to cut it on the other end. Simply delete what I don't need. Hold the Control key down on the gain line, the volume line, and about where I want it to start fade out, click a dot there, click a dot at the end, and drag it down. And if I want it to be a little curved, I'll click another dot and give it a little more of a smoother look. I can do that for as many as I want. But you see the pattern here, so it will slowly fade out there. So now I have the whole project done. I have my video and audio and everything. And it seems to work. So that's an example of how you can use this particular technique along with a few others to create something on a promotional nature in CyberLink PowerDirector.